Hello everybody and welcome to Dale's. My name is Dale and I'm coming to you from Western Manitoba, Canada. So it's been a couple of weeks since I did my last video and I just wanted to explain a little bit before I go any further why I have not been doing as many videos as I was before. First of all, I needed a bit of a break. I was really getting worn out with doing videos. There's a lot of work that goes into them and you're always thinking about what am I going to show next week? What am I going to do for next week? And it just got a little bit too much for me at the time. So I decided to take a bit of a break. However, there's more. My husband has been quite sick. And so I have, he has gotten me through cancer, not once, but twice. And then last year, falling and shattering my shoulder, it was all on him to help me. I could do nothing. I was literally an invalid. And he's always been there for me when I needed help, health-wise. And I decided that he really needed me right now. And so I decided to let a lot of things slide because he needed me and I needed to be there for him. He's starting to feel better, but there's still a long way to go for him. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to continue doing every 2 weeks, but for right now, this was really working very well for me. So be patient with me, please. Other than that, it has been a really disappointing summer here in Manitoba. I'm not even going to go into it. And I have been doing some work and I have finished some things and I have started some new things. So I am going to, because I know what you really want to see. You want to see my finished project. So first of all, I'll show you my wall hanging. And then I'm going to show you the shawl that I'm working on. That is really coming along. I think that I probably will finish this before the next video. And I've started a couple of new things. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video for you. I hope you don't mind, but I'm squishing it all in on this video and I hope you enjoy it. So thank you very much for watching. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you. I went past 2,000 finally. It's quite funny because I watch a fellow from England who said that I was watching his video yesterday and he said that he had been doing videos for 15 years and he just reached 65,000 subscribers. Well, I just got a message from YouTube. I've been doing videos for 14 years. Not consistently, but for 14 years. And I just reached 2,000. Woohoo! Anyway, his content obviously is much better than mine. It doesn't matter. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to count numbers. I'm not here to make money. I'm just here to share my experiences, my crafts, my little corner of the earth with you, and the rest of it I could care less. So enjoy the video and I will see you again in a couple of weeks. Thank you for watching. Here's what you've been waiting for. Well, it's done and it's on the wall. And I know it looks puny on video for some reason. I don't know why it looks so small, but in real time it doesn't. It looks just perfect. So I'm going to just bump you up so you can see it in better detail. I probably could have done one more row deeper, and I can still add on to that. The way I have it fixed, I have it, the edge, the top edge, that top edge there, I have sewn on another piece of fabric which I have wrapped around the board. So I can always take that off and add another row up there if I want to, but then it wouldn't be balanced with the bottom. So I love it the way it is. It's perfect for this, where I have it. And I'm a person that tends to move my furniture around, so it'll fit on any wall that I want to put it on. So the board that it's on is an old, when we moved here there was an old garden bench, and the wood on it was pretty much rotten. And so I had my brother rebuild it. And I've shown it to you in the garden several times. But I saved the boards because they are oak, and some of them were broken. But there was two that were not broken. So this one board I kept with this in mind. It's a bit warped, the board, but I sanded it down and I gave it a coat of varnish, and it looks perfect. It's actually perfect for this project. So I have 5 more boards, not all that long and not all complete, but I will keep them for future projects. I can also use them for other things. So there's my wall hanging. I'm very happy with it. I'm very proud of it. I loved working on it, and at some point I think I will probably do some more log cabin pieces like this. Not maybe make a pillow, a couple of pillows, maybe a table runner or something like that. Not a wall hanging. And I don't know, maybe someday I'll make a quilt like this. I don't know, but for now I'm very happy with this. I love how it turned out. It was a wonderful stitch, and it is wonky, but I love it. My reading shawl is really growing. It's not as big as my other one yet, but it's getting there. It's just turned out to be so pretty. I just absolutely love it. I can wrap it around myself, but like I said before, I want it to be extra large, so I'm just going to keep going until I run out of wool yarn. And this is what I've got left. That's all. So when I finish these balls, then this will be finished. Unless I decide to dip into a full ball. I don't know. I might do that. Just for the border, I might dip into a full skein. I have lots of full skeins of sock yarn. Maybe a neutral color, or just, I have this, when I was getting the sock train from Lichen and Lace, one of the months that I got was like a shocking hot pink. And I'm in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I don't know if I would wear socks made out of that, but it might be really kind of nice just to outline this whole shawl with that when I'm done. So I'll see. But so far, so good. I really love this. And it's just a mindless crochet project. You know, you can do this pretty much with your eyes closed. But yeah, so that is well on a way to a finish. It won't take me long to finish this. I only work on this in the evening just before I go to bed, or just, when I'm just kind of wanting to zone out, this is what I pick up. And so this will be done long before the next video, I'm quite sure. Isn't it pretty? Several months ago, I got the urge to do some watercolor painting, so I got out a very inexpensive set that I had bought at the dollar store, a couple of years ago. And I decided I would try to see if I could do some watercolors. So I started with this. This was the first one that I did. And I just used some old music paper that I had hanging around. And then I think I did this one next. And then I did this one. And then I did this one, the robin. And I was quite pleased with myself. I thought, for a very inexpensive watercolor set and a very inexperienced painter, I thought I had done okay. Now, when I was a child, I used to do a lot of watercolor. Nothing fancy or anything, but I was always drawing and using watercolor because as a child, I think in around grade 3 or 4 or something like that, one of the supplies for the beginning of school was a tin of watercolors. That was something that we had to get for our back to school bundle. One of the things in there, pencils and watercolors. And I remember when we went shopping, there was only one kind, of course. Now I'm talking back in the 60s. And I think it was $1 something for a little tin of maybe 16 colors or something. And the brush came with it. And I was so excited when my mom bought it for me, or my dad, I don't remember who. When I got home, I opened it up and I started painting. And by the time, I think we bought that on a weekend, and by the time it was time to go to school on the Monday, I had used up all the paints. My parents were not impressed, I tell you. They didn't have a lot of money, so they went out and bought me another one, but my mom kept it. And she took it to school and gave it to the teacher so that I wouldn't use it all. But that started a real obsession with me in watercolors, and I used to do a lot. And I continued to do watercolors into my teen years, and then I went into nursing school, and I didn't have time, and I never picked up a brush since then until I did these. So the set that I have is very inadequate to do anything great, and I'll show it to you. And not that I say I'm doing anything great, because I'm not, but this was the set I bought at the dollar store, and it's got pretty good colors, and it's not bad. I mean, I could have just stayed with this, but I got seduced by it's not in a tin, it's in plastic, and I wanted it in a tin, and I wanted more colors than this. So I purchased a watercolor set, and I'll show you the one that I purchased. So this is the little watercolor set that I purchased, and it's got 50 colors. I'll show it to you. It's in a tin, which I wanted, and it came with a pencil, eraser, pencil sharpener, a blotter, one brush, and a water brush, and all of these colors. So I have got myself a fairly nice watercolor set. For what I'm going to do, this is adequate. And it wasn't all that much money. And I think it actually even came with a packet of watercolor paper that was this size. And so I cut those in half, and I'll show you what I've done with some of them. I'm just starting. This weekend, I have decided that I was going to just do watercolor, and so that's what I've done. So here is what I've done so far. I've just been doing some landscapes. I'll get up close. And these are small. They're about 3 by 5 or 3 by 4 maybe inches. So and I did some collaging first. I collaged with some paper first, and then I put some homemade gesso on. Oops, there's one more. Hold on. Almost didn't get that one. I made some homemade gesso, and I'll tell you how I did that. Anyway, I'll show you the paintings first. So there's one. I think actually that was the first one that I did. And then I did that one. And that one. And that one. I really like this one. And then I decided to challenge myself and do some bridges. I have a thing about bridges, especially the ones that I see on Escape to the Country, the ones that are in England. So there's one, and there's another. Actually, I have to do a little bit more work on this one. I'm going to take my black pen and do a little checkered, make it look like brick. So that one's not quite finished. And then this one. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I have to pat myself on the back. For somebody who hasn't painted in a long time, I think I'm doing just fine, and I am enjoying this so much. So what I do is I take a little scrap. These were cut in half. These were those. This was the sheet that I got with my set. Just a watercolor piece set. And I decided I wanted to do a little book. So I'm going to make these all into a book. They're all going to go into my first watercolor book. And so I just cut them in half. And what I've done is I've taken some scraps of paper and just collaged them on. And then I gessoed it. And then I painted over the gesso. So it's made a fairly nice surface to paint on. And I'm cheap. I will not spend $38 for a tiny little tub of gesso, golden gesso. I just will not do it. I'm sorry. So I went on the internet and I looked to see how you could make your gesso. And there was a lot of different recipes on there for making gesso. But basically what it is you use glue, white. If you're making white gesso, you use glue, white acrylic paint, and some kind of thickener. So for my first one, and the ones that I'm using right now, I've used 2 parts of baby powder. Don't laugh at me. 2 parts of baby powder, 1 part of white glue, and 1 part of white acrylic paint. And the baby powder is working fine, but I had to actually, I think it's a little bit too runny because I've had to gesso these twice. So the next recipe I came to use the same amount of parts, but instead of baby powder, you would use 2 parts of plaster of Paris, 1 part of white glue, and 1 part of acrylic paint. So I don't have any plaster of Paris, but I asked my brother. He's coming out next weekend. And he says, oh, I think I have some. I says, well, then bring me a little bit. I don't need a lot because I intend to make a nice jug of gesso. So you do not have to go and buy. Oh, yes, I'm sure the stuff you buy is way superb to the stuff I made. But really, the gesso on here was nice, and the paint responds to it really well, and it's baby powder. So, for my money, baby powder is a lot cheaper than $39 for a tiny little thing of gesso. And I don't consider myself to be that grandiose of an artist that I need to spend that kind of money to have some fun painting. Anyway, so that is what I've been doing with my painting. So these are my my beautiful etchings so far. But you know what? I think that this is going to be something that I'm going to really enjoy doing. And I wanted to do this out in my gardens. That was the whole idea of starting this a few months ago. I thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice just to take the watercolors out, sit in the pergola, and paint my garden? Well, sad to say, we didn't have that kind of year. Um, until this very weekend, we had not had rain in over 2 months. And I've lost most of my garden. And I'm talking perennials because I didn't even plant any annuals. I planted a few seeds, but they didn't come up. Well, they did come up, but they burnt as soon as they came up. But I'm talking perennials, roses, shrubs, things that I have been working on for, well, for the 10 years we've been here. And some of those I brought from Winnipeg, so longer than that. So I'm not even going to show you my yard because it just depresses me to even go out there. So anyway, so I will just find inspiration. I have a lot of photographs of my yard, so that is what I'm going to do next. I have resurrected my old computer, and that's where most of my photos are on. I got thousands of them, and I'm just going to start trying to paint some of my former years in the garden. I think that would be something fun to do. But I want to do more birds. I have I've got 2 more to finish this, and then I've got another 9 of these, and I thought maybe I would do 9 different birds for my other book. This will be the landscape book, but then I want to do one. I want to do one of birds. I want to do one of flowers. I don't know. I just want to paint now. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing a little bit of stitching, but actually I haven't done any stitching yet. I'm getting ready to do some stitching, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. The other thing that I started doing is something that is inspired by Rita from Gone Rustic. She has been ill. She had one flu after the other, and she's a wonderful stitcher and a wonderful artist. And she couldn't work on some of her larger projects, so she got out some small projects that she was working on, and she makes the most gorgeous birds and hearts. And when she showed them, I thought, oh man, gotta have that. So I have cut out some for myself, and I've just been collaging them. So this is going to be the front of the bird, and this will be the back. And don't you know, I have a lot of beautiful brocades, velvets, not in a lot of big quantities, but I have a lot of bits. And I've wondered what I could do to use up those bits, and I have found the perfect thing. So I went on to, I don't know, coloring book pages, and I found myself a bird that I thought I would like, and I cut them out. And so right now I'm just collaging the pieces on. So I've got this one ready to go, and then I've got this one ready to be stitched. By ready to go, I mean I'm ready to stitch them. So I'm just going to stitch them on this just to give them a little bit more stability. Then I will stitch, this will be the back of this one. I'll blanket stitch them together, and then I'll stuff them. I will put eyes and all that. I'll do a lot of fancy stitching on here. I think they're just going to be so pretty. They're just going to be gorgeous. So I have that one, 2, and then I have this one collaged as well. And that one's going to have that color on the back. Is that all I have? Yeah, these are the 3 that are ready to be stitched. So this is the stitching that I'm going to be doing. And really, to be honest with you, I feel I'm feeling very, oh, I don't know what even the word is. I always feel this way when I finish a big project. I feel very empty. I think that's what it is. I feel very empty. I miss doing that one project, but I don't want to work on something big. I don't want to work on my comfort cloth thing with K3N. I'm so far behind in it anyway, but I just don't want to do another big thing right now. So this is perfect. This is going to get me back to stitching, because right now I don't want to do anything major, but this is something small and something that I can get done in a short amount of time. And you stuff them and you can hang them. You can hang them on a doorknob, you can hang them in your window, you can hang them on a tree, you can do whatever you want. The reason I'm making these is I'm sort of kind of toying with an idea of maybe opening a shop or having a Christmas sale. I don't know which. I haven't decided. I'm still thinking about it. And then I've got some more cut out, but I haven't collaged them yet. This is this fabric. I've got quite a bit of it actually. It's beautiful. It's an upholstery fabric. I have my stools in the kitchen have this on them. I upholstered that, and I have a little chair that I upholstered the seat with that, and it's really pretty stuff. So I've cut out a few more birds, quite a few more birds, and then I've got a couple of hearts as well cut out. So I'm going to do the same thing with the hearts as the birds. I'm going to collage them all and then stitch them. They're sort of Victorian, I guess you would say. I don't know. So I've got a lot of nice fabrics in here that I could do this with. This is also a piece of, what did I say? You know, that kind of fabric. Words fail me when I have a camera running. So I might make a few out of this too. But yeah, so I've got a nice collection of stuff in here, pretty stuff to embellish with, lots of bling. And this is the basket of the birds, even some men's ties. I found a bunch of men's ties, and I'm going to be using some of those because they're beautiful, some of them. So that is the only stitching project that I am thinking that I'm going to be working on in the future, in the near future. I'm sure I'll fall into some kind of stitching hole once I get going on these, but for right now, I think this is all I really want to do. So I'm going to start working on the second half of those little pieces that I showed you a little while ago. And I've got the last 3 just drying. I have done my collaging of paper, and I've done my gesso. As you can see, that's 2 coats of my homemade gesso, and you can still sort of see through it, but that's fine because I've actually drawn some lines in there to kind of help me. I found 3 images on my old iPad that I took of landscapes around my town. So these 3 are going to be local. And I will show you how I'm going to paint them when they're dry. But I thought I would show you on these other ones how I start the process. So I have, this is watercolor paper. I guess it's okay. I mean, I really don't know anything about watercolor paper, but it's what came with my paints. And I've got a bunch of papers here, different colors, different thicknesses, and I'm going to collage on here just around in the middle. I like to have a little bit of a border around. And this is only for dimension and that kind of thing. It's not, I'm not collaging a scene or anything, although if I know what I'm going to do, I can sort of collage it, like in this one, for instance, here. There's going to be grass, and there's a mountain, and this is all going to be sky. So I did sort of collage it in strips so I could see what I'm going to be doing with it. But on these ones, I don't know yet what I'm going to do. This is going to be 9 or 10 different paintings, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I want to start the collaging part. So I'm just going to start tearing and collaging. So this is what I do to before I paint. I just collage, which I do love to collage anyway. And I don't care if it's straight lines or not straight lines. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to get this out of my way here. Just use a glue stick. And I just put down whatever strikes me. Like I say, I don't know what this is going to be, what I'm going to be painting on this little series. This is going to be the other little book. So I don't know if it's going to be birds, or if it's going to be houses, or if it's going to be barns. I have no idea. Haven't decided yet. I do know that the little book that I'm just finishing up is all landscapes. That's the ones that I showed you, and I've got the last 3 to paint. And I have punched holes in most of them. Not, I think I have 2 more to punch holes, and I've made a front and a back cover as well. So once I get these painted, I can go ahead and put my book together. And I'm going to put it together using a slip knot technique that I did not know existed. And I was watching, oh dear, what's her name? Lisbeth, I think, she's from Denmark. Another fantastic knitter, not knitter, well, maybe she does knit, I don't know. Another artist and stitcher. She does wonderful work too. She showed how she does the slip knot technique to make her journals, to close for her closures, and it's really easy, and I like how it looks. So that's what I'm going to try. I've not tried it yet, but I'm going to. So I'm just willy-nilly placing these I like to have different colors of paper. It does show up. Well, it really doesn't show up, but it does when you paint with watercolors. Like when I paint over this, it'll be darker than when I paint over the piece that I'm doing right now. So I can use that to my advantage however I want to. So I think that's good enough. I'm going to do one more. If I can find them. Here we go. And then I will gesso them. Let's see, what do we got here? This is a nice dark paper. Put that there. And what else? I'm trying to use up some of these smaller bits that I've already got here. a little bit. Go there. I seem to have run out of music sheets. I will have to get more. I've got lots. An awful lot. Okay, so hope you can see what I'm doing. It's not rocket science. It's just collaging. This has been very enjoyable. I really enjoy doing this. It's something different, and I think I needed something different for this little interim before I get back to other projects. But I can see that I'm going to get stuck on painting. I can already tell that this is going to be something that I'm going to be doing a lot of. And I'm not just always going to be doing these little projects. I'm just starting with small right now because I just want to be able to start something and finish it and see what I've done for a while until I try different techniques. It's been a long time since I've done this kind of work, so I just want to take my time and play around with it and see where it takes me. And so far, it's really made me very, very happy. I can smell smoke, forest fire smoke. It's just been incredible. We went to, we took a drive to Nipawa a couple of days ago, and it was the worst, I think, so far. The smoke from the forest fires has been really, really bad, but I think this was the worst. We left here, it was about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. And it was smoky in town, but I mean, you could see. And we got out on the highway and just got just around the corner, around the bend on the highway, and everything disappeared. It was the weirdest thing I have ever experienced. It was total. The mountains were gone. The road was, I could see maybe 2 car lengths ahead of me, and that was it. I could not see any further than that. And the smell was, it just choked you. And we had our air conditioner on, but it was even coming in the car through the vents without, the outside vents being on. It was horrible. And that's a half-hour drive from where we are. And I was driving, and I said to Gary, I think we should turn around and go home. But I could not see to turn around. So we kept on going. And it was scary. I was actually very, very scared. So we got there, and it was terrible there too. And we took our time. We had some shopping to do, so we did some shopping. And then we started heading home. And it was a little better coming home, but oh my gosh, it still was really bad. And of course, this is farm country. What do you do when you're on the highway and you can't see to pass? You can't see 2 feet ahead of you, and you come up behind a farmer pulling a big implement at 30 kilometers an hour. and you still have a 20-minute drive going 100 kilometers. Oh man. And the cars were behind me, you know, we were just crawling along, and you could not see to pass. Like, you couldn't see far enough down the highway to pull out and pass him. He finally did pull over enough that we could sort of squeak by, but oh, I was so happy to get home and park the car. I was just, I actually, within a half an hour, I had a migraine headache, and I think it was from the tension of driving like that. I was holding myself so tense. So yeah, not to be repeated. So here is my homemade gesso. It smells quite nice. It smells like baby powder. And I am just going to put it on. Just going to paint it on to cover everything up now. This just adds texture, which actually does help the painting process quite a bit. Doesn't make it easier, but you can get a little bit more creative because, oh, I should have. On the other ones, I took my charcoal pencil and I drew lines, but I don't know what's going to be on this, so I'm not going to do that. I guess I will just have to, well, okay, maybe let's do something here. I'm gonna, where's my pencil? I'm gonna make a horizon here. Doesn't, it's still damp. Actually, I can't do it. I gotta wait till it dries. But I would make a horizon here, so I know that this is my horizon. Up here is going to be sky. Yeah, it's too damp. I can't do it. You have to wait till the gesso or till the glue dries. So I won't bother. So I'll put gesso on this one. You can do some markings after you put the gesso on, but by that time I like to just get painting. So on my other ones, you would have never known that I had done all this to those little cards. So I'll let this dry. I probably will have to do another coat, I would think. So that is how I prepare my little cards for painting. And I'm not going to include it on this video, but maybe on my next video I will show you how I'll paint one with you. But that won't be this video. I think this video is getting long enough. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you've ever thought of painting and you haven't done it, give it a try. It's actually really a lot of fun. And you can always buy watercolor paints at the dollar store for really cheap. There's nothing wrong with it. Before I go, I got to show you one thing. I was looking for something to use as a palette to mix colors. And I had a plastic lid from a butter tub, and it didn't work. I wanted something that was ceramic, or I was thinking maybe a saucer. So I went up into my cupboard and I found this. Devil's egg plate. Do you know, this was my mom's. And I have never, ever used this in the 40-some years that I've had it. I've never once used it. But I'm going to use it now. Sorry, Mom. I'm going to be using your beautiful devil's egg plate for a palette. Isn't that cool? I got to look at the back and see what it is. I got a feeling it's, yeah, it is made in England. Oh well. Better to use it than to have it sit up in a cupboard for another however many years unused. So thanks for watching. Take care, everybody, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.